last night, the triumphant return of the product herself, Angel Reese.
Chicago Sky have had an extremely disappointing 2025 season. I'm telling you right now, it was horrible.
That was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen.
Angel Reese just lived every athlete's worst nightmare, absolutely torched on live TV by her own Chicago Sky fans. Her big comeback game should have been a huge celebration, but instead, nearly 3,000 empty seats were screaming louder than any crowd. The cameras caught everything, and that uncomfortable vibe turned an ordinary game into this brutal viral moment.
The reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. Like, it's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game, and
this is the moment that's going to stick with Angel Reese for a long time. That press conference heard around the WNBA. A reporter asked a simple, really fair question. Do you still stand by what you said last year that people watch women's basketball because of you too?
Welcome back, Reese. So pretty.
Caitlin Clark comes in and is immediately the biggest star in the league. Immediately. And merchandising in every other way.
But instead of owning it, instead of doubling down or even explaining herself, she gave just two little words that sent shockwaves across social media. Next question. That was it. No defense, no numbers, no energy, just a cold dodge. The whole room just froze. Reporters stared. Fans clipped it, and in hours, it was everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, with people laughing, not cheering. Those two words, they spoke volumes, way more than any highlight reel ever could.
So, Angel, of course, so happy to be back, and she was welcomed back by so many fans. Oh, dearly beloved.
yeah, obviously, like I said, they understand that this is the priority. Obviously, there's no place for this, and they preach. I think 2 days before they put out no hate, no speech.
Here's the thing. This is why it blew up. This wasn't some random reporter trying to stir things. No, this was Angel Reese's own quote from 2024 coming right back at her. Remember after the LSU championship run? She was right in the middle of that big rivalry with Caitlin Clark, and she confidently told everyone, people watch women's basketball because of me too. It was bold, it was loud, and it made headlines. She wasn't just saying she was a great player, she was saying she was a reason the whole sport was taking off. That kind of statement, it sticks with people. And when you say something that big, you know those receipts are coming. What's crazy is, when you put yourself on the same level as Caitlin Clark, you better have the numbers to back it up. And for Reese, the numbers just aren't looking good. Last year, Chicago Sky home games were averaging around 8,000 fans, but every single Indiana Fever game with Clark sold out. Gainbridge Fieldhouse was packed with over 17,000 fans night after night, and it gets even wilder. Just last night, only 6,373 fans showed up. Plus, Reese went back to LSU, her old stomping grounds where she built her brand and won a title. You'd expect massive hype there, right? Instead, barely 6,000 fans showed up to an arena that holds over 13,000 less than half full. That's not star power, that's a serious wake-up call. So when that reporter asked if she still thought she was a major draw, everyone was watching. This was her moment to remind everyone why she said it, but she just passed. Next question.
I think the WNBA and our team and our organization has done a great job supporting me. I've had communication from everyone, from so many people across this league, and being able to support me and going through this whole process. Obviously, it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone. And
that single dodge, it just opened up the floodgates. Those press conference clips went totally viral because it basically confirmed what everyone was already kind of whispering. Maybe the hype doesn't quite match the numbers. Chicago Sky fans weren't even angry, they just seemed disappointed. You could almost feel them thinking, talk less, show more. Honestly, it felt like a lot of Angel Reese fans might not be hardcore basketball fans, and they were kind of proving it. Now, this isn't to say Reese isn't talented. She absolutely is. She's a champion, a real competitor, and she brings that energy. But when you make claims that big, the public is going to measure you by more than just points and rebounds. They're looking at ticket sales, TV ratings, jersey sale, and this season, Clark has been absolutely shattering records in every single one of those categories.
Is this a championship team? This is a team who makes every game a home game. We talked about the t-shirt that they are currently selling on the Indiana Fever's team store.
Clark is out here selling out 15,000 seat arenas in just 45 minutes. Get this, her jersey was the second biggest seller in all of basketball in 2024, only behind Steph Curry. Plus, 41 of the Fever's 44 games are nationally televised this season. That's more exposure than some NBA teams even get. The league is actually moving games to bigger arenas just because of her. That's the kind of star power that doesn't need to say a word.
So you know the basketball superstar Caitlin Clark. She is in the Women's National Basketball Association. Big star, huge star, brilliant player. Okay, she's on the Indiana team.
And that's what makes Reese's next question moment sting even more. It wasn't just that she refused to answer, it really put a spotlight on the huge gap between her talk and the actual traction. Fans want to cheer for her confidence, right? But they're seeing empty seats. They're hearing these bold statements, but there's no real evidence to back them up. And when the biggest rival in your sport is bringing in celebrities, scoring multi-million-dollar TV contracts, and getting record-breaking attention, every single dodge just looks so much bigger than it normally would.
Taking the high road or trying to say the right things in these interviews, she doesn't. Whether she's saying what's on her mind or not, it doesn't always come across as likable. It doesn't come across as something relatable. It comes across as she is trying to also get that same spotlight, that same notoriety as Caitlin Clark.
So that's why this whole press conference just blew up. It wasn't really the question. And honestly, it wasn't even just the answer. It was about what that answer exposed. That bold claim from 2024. People watch because of Me Too. It's now being stacked up against packed houses, sold out merch, and national hype. And all of that is going to someone else. Chicago Sky fans aren't being cruel here. They just want results. They want to believe the face of their team is more than just a headline. And when they see a player ducking the very conversation she started, it just feels like that trust breaks a little.
Apparently, there's some jealousy that might be manifesting itself into physical, inappropriate conduct.
This wasn't just some viral clip, you know? This felt like a real turning point. Those two words showed that the hype train seriously needs fuel, and right now, that engine is running pretty light. For Reese, the challenge is super clear. It's not about talking anymore, it's about proving it, and until those seats fill up, until the cameras really start following her, that next question moment is just gonna keep popping up, reminding everyone that words are easy, but numbers just don't lie.
You got people that are resentful towards her, but not. It's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents.
And get this, the gaps get even uglier when you look at the game-to-game numbers. Chicago Sky played the Minnesota Lynx, and Chicago only brought in 4,600 fans. But Minnesota, which is a smaller market, pulled in 7. That's 1,000 more people in the seats in a smaller city for just a regular game. Those aren't the numbers of a player who's shifting culture. Those are like Tuesday night in February numbers, the kind you just scroll past on the ticker. And for a player who once said people watch women's basketball because of Me Too, those stats hit way harder than any trash talk ever could.
Quote, I don't know if we can make that same offer.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, she's playing in what feels like a completely different league altogether. Iowa's Carver Hawkeye Arena, 15,000 seats gone in 45 minutes. That's not even basketball anymore. That's like full-blown Clark mania. And when she jumped to the WNBA, the hype didn't just follow her, it absolutely exploded. Fever games are treated like events now, not just regular matchups.
The girl is spectacular. It's not like she's not a scrub. She's not only can play, she's a star caliber player who draws this attention. And maybe it's because that fan base that she has and her being a young white lady contributes to it. So what?
Her jersey sales are outpacing almost everyone, sitting right behind Steph Curry. Yeah, Steph Curry. Clark's name is actually above NBA All-Stars and even legends when it comes to merch, which is absolutely insane for a rookie. And the media has definitely noted. 41 out of 44 Fever games are on national TV this season. That's like 93% coverage. Honestly, that's more than the Lakers get some years. And let's even talk about money. Preseason tickets are going for $600 a pop. That's NBA level pricing for a league that usually doesn't even sniff those kinds of numbers. While Angel Reese is busy dodging questions, Clark is just quietly rewriting the entire business side of the sport.
Ice Cube's literally saying, we sat down, looked at the actual figures, and the draw wasn't there. The fever wasn't there. Oh, no pun intended. Angel Reese was not going to be able to bring in the amount of eyes for the sponsors and...
But here's where things get even messier. The whole social media spin. Because when the seats are empty and the numbers just aren't adding up, somebody always tries to change the conversation. And in this case, Reese's own mom actually jumped into the fire with a tweet. She said, "Some fans celebrate attendance. We celebrate banners. Forget the fans. Look at the hardware."
Wow, I'm not sure any other single, outside of just the pure numbers that we keep showing people, literal numbers.
But that's just not how sports work, especially nowadays. Fans want to feel something. They want that energy. They want to believe they're watching history unfold. And when the numbers show the complete opposite, they're gonna talk and they're gonna meme. And quickly, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, they absolutely did not hold back. Fans were clapping back with stats, screenshots, side-by-side photos of Clark's packed arenas next to Chicago's half-empty ones. There were even memes comparing Reese's next question to someone trying to sneak out the back door of a party nobody showed up to. And it wasn't just rival fans either. Even loyal Chicago Sky fans were getting frustrated, demanding some energy, some wins, something to really rally around. And that's the thing about Chicago Sky fans. They're not villains. They don't hate Angel Reese. They just want the hype to actually match the output. They want to feel like they're backing a star who's building something big, not someone who's dodging her own quotes.
What should have been a massive, huge day for your sponsors and for your networks is going to be anything but that.
And that's why these numbers sting so much. Because for all the noise, the reality is just staring right back at her. Empty chairs, quiet arenas, and a fan base waiting for way more than just words. While Clark is turning every arena into a headline, Reese is facing the harshest critic of all, the scoreboard in the stands. Now let's dive into something else, because this is where the story really gets interesting. We've talked about the numbers, we've talked about the social media chaos, but now it's time to really pull back the curtain and look at why one franchise is absolutely thriving while the other one is kind of spinning in circles. And trust me, the contrast between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky, it's pretty brutal.
Sponsors assured him Clark coming to his organization would rake in cash hand over fist. But, quote, they didn't tell us the same thing about Angel Reese.
So, let's start with Indiana. These guys didn't just draft Caitlin Clark and hope everything would magically work out. No way. They opened up their playbook and went full chess master. They brought in names like Sophie Cunningham, Natasha Howard, and Dana Bonner. These aren't just players to fill out a roster. They actually elevate the whole team. It's like Indiana basically said, we're not just building a team, we're building a movement. Every single signing just feels so intentional, like all the pieces are perfectly clicking into place around Clark.
Okay, because she's brilliant, right? That's why she's wreaking havoc. Because she is so good.
And you can totally see it when you watch them play. It's not just Caitlin doing everything herself. It's all about chemistry. It's the spacing. It's the vision. They've really built this whole ecosystem where Clark can just thrive and everyone else benefits too. Teammates are even comparing her to Diana Taurasi, but with a twist. Someone said spicier, flashier, more dangerous. And honestly, they're right. Clark's game just has this rare electric energy. You can literally feel the floor tilt whenever she gets the ball.
And we have grown-ass men and women out here doing whatever they can to try to make sure that does not happen. That is the weirdest thing in the world, but it is what it is. And I'm glad that Caitlin has a great head on her shoulders.
Indiana's front office didn't stop there either. They've treated Clark exactly like the franchise player she is, but they've also marketed the heck out of her. Every game is a home game has become so much more than just a slogan. It's their entire identity. They're selling out arenas. They're launching these big arena moves, expanding facilities, and making sure fans truly feel like they're part of something way bigger than just basketball. That's how you take a rookie and turn them into a total phenomenon.
I'm not sure anything's been more evidence to what we've been saying.
Now let's contrast that with Chicago. The Sky drafted Angel Reese, and sure, she's talented, but the whole vibe, it's completely different. There's no clear plan, no clear role. It just feels like a team that's reacting to headlines instead of actually creating them. Instead of really building around Reese, it's been this revolving door of uncertainty, and you can see that on the court and in the stands. So here's the real takeaway from all of this. Talking about being the draw doesn't actually make it true. Angel Reese famously said, "People watch women's basketball because of Me Too." But the receipts tell a completely different story. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark doesn't even have to say a word. Her attendance numbers, her jersey sales, her national TV coverage, they do all the talking for her.